Hi, Mitchell. What are some best practices or common mistakes people make when trading options?
Well, so once you decide on a strategy that you're using, then you can decide on what strikes to pick. And when you're looking at for a trade, just keep in mind I'd say probably volume and open interest. So you want to look at the level two quotes, like the market depth. Um, so we always want to make sure that the market we're operating in has enough volume when you're trading. So typically, the more volume and open interest, the narrower the spread's going to be on contracts, um, particularly on monthlies. The third Friday of each month will typically have higher volume and open interest. Um, so if you have access to level two quotes, then use it. In a thin market, the it's called the NBVO. It'll be the National Best Bid Offer. May show a current ask of, let's say, 50 cents by 10. So meaning there's 10 contracts for sale at 50 cents a piece. But level two may show the next level at 70 cents by 100. And this can particularly mess up spread orders. But if you were to place a market order for 50 contracts thinking you're only spending 2,500, then you're mistaken. And a lot of brokerage houses will spit that out as like an estimated cost. Um, you'd really be looking at a net cost closer to about $3,300 for that. Another thing to take into account would be auto exercise, which not every broker does, but just make sure you're aware of what's going on expiration date. So should your long options expire even just a penny in the money with some brokers, your brokerage firm can auto exercise your contracts, exposing you to potential risk. And they may have risk departments that'll go in and hedge accordingly, but that's not always going to work out in your favor at all. So let's say you're long two contracts on Amazon at 18.50, the market closes at 18.50 and 3 cents. So you just bought 200 shares of Amazon, cost you what, $370,000. So now and regardless of whether you have that money or not, it would still exercise, and the brokerage firm in question, like I said, could hedge. But now, let's say after hours, Amazon announces earnings or some sort of news event, and let's say numbers are terrible, stock takes a tumble, now you're left holding shares and you're hemorrhaging money. Um, Never a good situation. You can go negative equity in a lot of cases if you're on margin. Another thing to keep an eye on, I'd say, would be an ex-dividend date. It may be obvious to keep that in mind, but to some people, maybe not. Uh, this can be an opportunity for the holder on the long side. Let's say you're short a call. That long holder of the call could exercise and call away your shares so they can get paid the dividend. So that's just a way for your contract to kind of get pulled away from you preemptively and you go short. So equity stock options are an American exercise style and they can be exercised at any time versus the index options that are European style and like such as SPX or something like that. They can only be exercised the day of expiration, and it's a cash settlement versus the equity settlement on American style options. But those are just a couple best practices to use when trading options.